Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace my fears released. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
No encouragement. We watch a little video like that, and to me, several things pop out. The first is how nonverbal a lot of that encouragement was. It was helping somebody up when they fell down. With some, it was a gift of a smile. With some, what they needed. Maybe it was food. With someone else, they did it with flowers. With someone else, it was money. With somebody else, it was simple kindness of a glass of water. Now, the one thing that I noticed as I looked throughout that video is the person who is happiest is the person who is doing the helping, the person who's doing the encouraging. When the person got encouraged, they're almost stunned for a second, like, what's this all about? What do you want from me? Why are you doing this? What's going on? And then only a second later would it sink in, like, wow, that was really cool. And then they'd start to smile too. But when the person was doing the helping, they were just beaming. It's like their God was shining out. And then it was contagious. And the next person was like, well, that person that helped me looked really, really happy. And I want to be really, really happy too. And here's this opportunity that presented itself where I can help somebody else. And we can look at all the pay it forward aspects of that, and even the karmic aspect of that, that by the time the construction worker had helped the little kid at the beginning to down the street, that got him a glass of water that he wanted. It went all the way full circle back around. But when I look at this stuff, I think about how it all works, how it ties into what we know, what we believe, what we understand. And we spent a fair amount of time talking about the I am, and I am that I am from a judgment standpoint of don't judge it because I am that, and I am this, and I am that. But to take that a step further, how does that work with encouragement? If I am you, and I am you, and I am you, and I am you, and I am every person in this room, then as I encourage you, I'm ultimately encouraging me. I'm ultimately encouraging that spark of God that's in you and the spark of God that's in me both. And so oftentimes, when we look at something like encouragement, it's simply taking the time to look outside of my little bubble, outside of the me space, of all the stuff that goes on that we all have. Our grocery lists and our to-do lists and our this, that's, and our worries and our goals and our what's happened to me recently and all of those things, our little bubble. And what it took mainly for encouragement for these folks in this video, just like for all of us, is just to look outside of our bubble for a second. Oftentimes when we go walking down the street like that, we're so in our own little bubble that we don't even notice what's going on around us. That little kid that fell down on a skateboard, we're like, wow, that sucks. We just keep walking because we're focused, we're busy. Or somebody who needs help getting something out of a trunk, or carrying something across the street, or somebody who's hungry or thirsty or needs a smile or whatever it is, because we can get so locked into our little bubble. But the key with encouragement is to look outside of our little bubble. Because if I am that, if I am you, if you are me, then the bubble doesn't exist anyway. And most of the stuff that I'm worried about, I'm not going to do a whole bunch with. Worrying, they say, is like meditation on a negative. Praying for something you don't want, putting energy towards it. So there's really not a whole lot of sense in that. And the good stuff that I'm doing is going to be amplified by doing more good stuff. So the things that I want in my life are going to be easier. The happier I am, the more fulfilled I am, and the higher my vibration is. And as we raise that vibration simply by helping each other, by encouraging each other, it makes all the difference in the world. And to go back to the beginning, when I talked about that one quote that says, a minute of encouragement at the right time when somebody needs it is worth more than an hour of praise once they've accomplished their goal. We've all been there. We've all been there. When things just weren't going right, and somebody took the time to look outside their bubble and make us important and give us that encouragement that we needed, whether it was verbal, whether it was prayer, whether it was help, no matter what form it took. It made all the difference in the world. Now the good part with this whole I am thing and this encouragement thing is nobody has to do bad in order to do better. If I'm already doing good and you encourage me, I can do even better. If you're already doing good, I can encourage you and you can do even better. And there's no ceiling, there's no limit. And we don't have to be in this place of something's going wrong in order to get something right. Good can get better, and better can get better than that. And oftentimes, we don't really know how good it can get until we get there. And then we go, wow, that's pretty cool. And the place that I find God in all this is in all this. Nothing makes a parent prouder than to see their kid playing well with others. I can only assume that it's the same from God's perspective. But this is amplified because I am that and you are that. In the psychological realm, they say, give what you want to receive. Give what you want to receive. There was once a minister, that a friend of mine that I used to know back in California, and he had a couple, a husband and wife, that weren't doing so good. In fact, they were doing really bad, and they've been doing really bad for a lot of years. And the wife came in for counseling, and she said, Pastor, she said, I know that this isn't very Christian of me, she said, but I have been so wronged by this husband of mine that I want to destroy him. I don't just want to divorce him, I want to destroy him. How do I do that? And the minister said, well, I'll give you some good advice. He said, do absolutely everything that he wants. Do it with a smile, make him feel like he's king of the world, and then walk out. Because she's not going to miss you if you leave right now. And she went, good point, I'm going to go do that. And she did. Committed to it for 3 months. And for 3 months, her whole world was making his world amazing. All in the back of her mind so she could just destroy him. So she went back in to see the minister 3 months later. And he said, so how'd that work out for you? And she said, not worth a hoot. And he said, well, why's that? She said, well, the first month it was pretty easy because I had my goal and my plan, and every time I did something nice, I knew that it was setting him up for this big fall. So, but by the second month, I remembered all the reasons that I loved him. And inside that second month, I found that he was putting his whole world on hold. And he was doing everything he could to make my world just amazing. And now into the third month, we've settled into it, and it's like we're on a whole new honeymoon. We've got a whole new us again. And he said, that's just the way it was designed. He said, you didn't really think that I would help you to destroy another human being, did you? He said, but you had to have a goal that worked in with your goal in order to get you to where you really wanted to be. Now, this doesn't just happen inside of marital relationships. It happens inside of sisters, brothers, husbands, wives, friends, colleagues. It happens with all of us. When we step outside of ourselves and we look at, a lot of us are familiar with the word namaste. The peace of God in me recognizes and honors the peace of God in you. Well, if I believe that there honestly is a peace of God in you, and I can encourage the human you to let that God you shine, then the God me shines in that act. I am that. I am. It's so cool when we stop and look at how this stuff all works in together. How it all works. Oftentimes, the littlest thing that we do, we don't even realize how profound the impact is for somebody else. It could be absolutely huge. Sometimes just by showing up. We were at I don't remember what that was. Was that a card party, Debbie? I forget if it was. But it was one of the, we used to do a Friday night thing every Friday night, and I think it was one of those. But at the time, I was wrestling with my own internal gremlins. And whenever Debbie would show up, it was like this big spotlight entered the room, and all my little gremlins that were like going nuts in my head, like ran for cover. And she didn't even do anything at the time. She just walked in the door and just smiled. And then went on about her, and the instant she walked in the room, that big light shined, and those little gremlins in my head ran for cover. And I was like, and I remember coming up to you afterwards going, that is just so cool. You enter the room and this big light shines and my little head gremlins take cover. And that is the coolest, just by showing up, because her vibration was high, or her smile was big, or God was showing, whatever it was just, wow. And sometimes it's just showing up makes an absolute difference in a day, a week, a month, or a lifetime. Sometimes it's just that 2 minutes taken aside. Say, tell me about your week, what's going on? Sometimes it can be, while you're waiting in line, just saying a silent prayer for the person in front of you, or the person behind you, or the person behind the cash register, or whatever it is. Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, he talks about he learned to give as a child. His parents taught him to give wherever you go. Give wherever you go. Now if you think about it, that simple philosophy of give wherever you go, he said he is always welcomed back everywhere he's ever been, because he gives wherever he goes. And he said sometimes it's a flower, sometimes it's a compliment, sometimes it's a silent prayer, sometimes it's just a little note left behind saying, you made my day, love your smile. But he makes it an actual purpose to give wherever he goes. Now take that into a connections message. To give wherever we go is to give to yourself, is to give to God, is to honor the spark of God that's in other folks, and to allow your God to shine through in the meantime. So this next week, I'm going to make it my mission to remember to give wherever I go. And it would be really cool, and I think it would make a huge difference in your world also, if you chose to remember that with me and to embrace that yourself just for a week, and see if maybe it's contagious, maybe it wants to last a whole bunch longer than a week. But to give wherever you go, that to me is the spiritual law of encouragement. Thank you.